Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining our Q&A session today, Friday. You're welcome. Let's take a few minutes to share the link. Share the link with our friends, our colleagues, our teammates, our trade mates. Then we can quickly start. Good morning, Shak. You're welcome on the call. Yes, please say hello in the chat as we continue to share the link. Shak, where are you reaching us? Where are you? Which country are you, Shak? Good morning. Tina, good morning. Is it normal for a trade to take a year to come out? Yeah. Thank you, Tina. We can, yes, it is a Q&A session, and you can start to write your questions in the chat. You can write them in your WhatsApp so that by the time you want to put them here, they are easily understood. My name is Jerina Marina. I am in Uganda and I am a crypto ambassador. I am going to be co-hosting with my leader, Kabanda Julius, today. He will be here to answer all your questions. So good morning. Good morning. Kindly share the link. Welcome, Adams, Angel. Please say hello. Edison, where are you? Bashir, nice to see you on the call. Da Silva, Christine, Dixon, Billy, nice to see you. The Prince, Hussein, where are you? Infinix, what is your name and where are you studying from? Joyce, Morgan, Mozili, Simbola, tell us your country in the chat. We would like to know which country are you? Which town are you? Naiga Fatima, you're welcome on the call. Pesi, kindly share the link with your teammates. Paul, make sure your friends know that we are on the call. And this is a Q&A session where we ask questions. Questions about what? About our trading, about our robots, about our software. What is it that you did not understand throughout the week? That is really challenging, that even if you go on our YouTube channel, you cannot be able to understand. We have a leader who is already in the house and is going to be answering all these questions. Kindly let me know if I'm loud and clear in the chat, if you can hear me. Vincent, you're welcome on the call. William James, Zodwa, kindly share the link and make sure your people are here. Okay. Yes, we have Shak from Ghana. Welcome. You're very early on the call. Thank you. Joyce, good morning from Lesotho. Welcome, welcome. The friends from Uganda. Nice to have you on the call. The original, Dewo original from Nigeria. Ghana is in the house as well. Tanzania, we have Safisi, that is from Uganda. South Africa is on the call. Namashawe Pesi is from Nigeria, Kampala. We have the Philippines. The Philippines is in the house. We have Liberia. We have Sunday from Qatar. Nice to see you on the call, Sunday. Dixon from Uganda, but now in Saudi Arabia. Great, Dixon. South Africa is on the call. Kalangala, this is Paul from Kalangala. That is nice. Joyce, thank you. I can see, let's start to write those questions. What question do you have? We are not going to take a lot of time. Please, let's start writing the questions on the chat and we will be able to start. And please, if you can open up your mic, we will give you a chance to ask your question directly to the wealthy coach and he'll be able to answer you. you can simply go to your phone and raise your hand. We'll be able to see you and open your mic so that you can be able to share that question. Dr. John, you're welcome on the call. Nice to see you. Latre, you're welcome. Precha, you're welcome. Hussein, we are starting. We are about to start in a few minutes, please. Let me see if my leader is ready to start the call. Could we have the questions? Could we have your questions? Let's start writing the questions in the chat box. If we do not have any questions, then we can better go and use this time profitably. We have a lot to do. This is a year of making money, and we cannot afford to waste any more time. We cannot afford to waste any time. Leader Julius, if you're ready, I can start with the questions that we have.
Yes, please.
Okay. Once again, my name is Jorina Marina, and our leader Julius is going to be answering our questions. And I'll start off with the very first question, which is from Tina. Tina says, what causes trades to take months before coming out despite the continuous capital input to redeem them? What causes trades to take months before they can come out despite continuous capital input to redeem them?
I think there is no specific capital that could redeem a coin. Could the person raise up their hand and share with us their approach that they are trying to do? And they think that this approach will bring their coins out of floating loss. Because basically, let me take an example so that someone maybe could understand what I'm trying to talk about. But usually, okay, let me pick this call. Let me share my screen. Because it is usually a grave mistake. Let me share. Let me ask a question before I share. If your trading is a battle, okay? Trading is a battle between buyers and sellers. The sellers want to win the battle, but also the buyers want to win the battle. So you are in the battlefield and you have bullets, you have excess bullets, which is your capital. Question number one, do you just fire your bullets anyhow? Some answers in the chat. Do you just fire your bullets anyhow? I'm trying to answer the question, but I'll use a lot of logic. Do you just fire your bullets anyhow? You just get the gun, put in the bullets, and start pa 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 pa. It becomes a wastage of resources. So it is the same way. For example, I have money, and I have a mindset that I can get this coin out of floating loss. Okay. So I look at this average price and I look at this current price. So what do? I come here, tap on buy, market price, and I press in $1,000 just to save. Which means when I press in $1,000, my floating loss moves from -14 to -2. If you are following, drop me a one. When I put in $1,000 at market price, my floating loss, I come here, tap on buy, market price, I put in $1,000. My floating loss moves from -14 to -2. Now, here comes the question. Does that prevent the coin from continuing going down? Does that prevent the coin from continually going down? Because I have brought money and I thrown it in the coin, I have moved my floating loss from -14. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to do what we call manual replenishment, you must be sure. Can I repeat that statement? That you know how to read this graph. You know how to read this graph. That by the time you are bringing in the money, the coin is going to rise. But if you are not sure of that, bringing in your money manually does not prevent the coin from going down. Are we okay? There's a coin I gave as a signal. I'm just trying to cross check. Just give me a minute, guys. How many took my 5%? If you took, I don't know what's wrong. Someone was writing to me a very long story. Let me show you. Sometimes these messages, I don't reply. I see them, but I don't reply. Someone is here. Are you trading the Monia like this good? Because I trade that with your signal. When I send you a signal, I have done my analysis. I saw this coin was going to rise to 5%. And I drew my line. Now I'm not going back to the coin. How many of you took 5% of this signal? Now it is done business. Those who enjoyed 5%, let me see. How many enjoyed the 5%? How many enjoyed the 5%? So, ladies and gentlemen, there are usually two decisions you can take when you are in floating loss. Number one, open more margin calls. That is the best decision. Put them in sub-bin mode, real-time settlement to keep making more money. Number two, trade other coins. Is my answer clear? Trade other coins. I hope I've answered. Back to you, Coach Gerino.
Our next question is from Sunday. Sunday in Qatar says, can I link one Binance to more than one activated royalty robot? Can he be able to link one Binance to several royalty activated robots?
I think it no longer works now. It no longer works. Back to you.
Okay, Sunday, you had it used to work, but it is not possible now. It is not possible now. Shaq says, I realized when we set our percentage margin call drop, let's say 60% drop, the robot seems to sell earlier than the set percentage drop. Can you please throw more light on the percentage drop?
What do you mean? The question is not clear.
Shak, if you can make your question clear, but I would try to read it again. He says, when you set, let's say, your percentage drop at 60%, he has realized that the robot sells earlier than the set percentage.
So when you set your robot that you want your robot to buy up to 50%, do you control the market? That is the question. So you don't control, you are not responsible on how deep the coin will go. You have just come up with a setting. If the coin drops 2% and it rises, well and good. If it doesn't, it's okay. So when you say that your drop is 60%, you are not sure whether the coin will drop 60% or 50 or 100. You just came up with settings. Your settings do not control the market. If it buys 2 margin calls and it rises, well and good. I hope I've answered.
Okay, difference from Uganda says it is advisable for me to trade without margin calls because in some cases there are coins that are yielding instead of floating, making me earn on just the first buy amount. Depressed, I don't understand this question. You can raise up your hand and ask the question by yourself or make it more clear.
I think I understand the question.
Okay.
It is just that many people focus on the money when it comes to trading. But the first priority when it comes to trading is protecting your capital. Let me say if your first buying amount is 10, you enter coin, and the robot gives you 3% of $10, you feel bad. But remember, you have no control. I don't know if what I'm trying to say makes sense. But remember, you have no control of whether the coin will drop or not. So I think last week was it on Wednesday? If you go back and watch that video, I basically talked about wallet management. Who remembers that class? I talked about wallet management. That your first step of your success is managing your wallet. Because if you are managing your wallet, then you have no issues with whether you are getting 2% of $10, as long as you have worked on your wallet management very well. So what is disturbing you is a complaint that you are making little profits. But look on the other side of the market. You have entered with $10 and the market gives you 2% of $10. It is a complaint that you are making little money. But there are higher chances of the market going against you, and then it puts in $500. So I believe that your first priority is to put on the other side when the market goes against you. So if the person has not taken time to rewatch that video that we did on Wednesday that talks about wallet capital management, because it's the most important thing you need. I may not go into details because you see, I don't believe in the ideology of repeating the same thing, because there I spent close to so many hours. I think let me look for that. Yes, this is on Wednesday. So if you missed that class, the video is here. Take your time, because it may take me a lot of time to explain. It may take me a lot of time to explain what I explained. So the video is there. So the link is there. So I may not have the time now to repeat what I explained on Wednesday, unless you join Wednesday next week. Back to you, Coach Jerino.
Lawrence says, if he started with a big first amount like $200, his first buying amount as $200, and the margin configuration, and he does a double up, but not above the first buy-in amount, does it bring a positive impact in terms of bringing the average price closer to the current price?
Does it mean?
He started with 200, did a double up, but which was not above the 200. Is it in any way, does it affect or bring a positive impact on bringing the average price closer to the current price?
For example, if your first buying amount is $200, then you remove the $200 and you return it to 10, then you use a double up. Remember, when you enter a coin and the coin goes deeper, the coin buys more quantity. The reason of using a double up strategy basically is to make sure that you get more coins, or you buy with a big amount whenever the coin goes down. That's the analogy. You buy with more money whenever the coin goes down. So it doesn't matter what your first buying amount was. It was just the first time the robot was entering the market. But as long as you are buying with more money whenever the coin drops, then you have an advantage. Back to you.
Okay, Shak, you can unmute. Shak, unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, our leaders. I was the one who posed the question earlier about the percentage margin drop. And I want to explain the question I was trying to ask. I think I didn't put it well. What I mean is that, let's say I'm picking a trade at, let's say the coin, the value of the coin at the moment is $1, and then I've made an arrangement that let's say 50% percentage drop. And to my understanding, it means that even if the coin drops to maybe $0.5, I should still be relevant in the market. The robot should still be buying and selling. And so therefore I made that arrangement. But I don't know whether I have not analyzed it, that the robot seems to buy faster than the percentage drop, 50% drop that I made. So I just want our leader to throw more light on it for me to get more understanding. Thank you.
I don't understand anything. Come again. I don't understand your question. Your question is confusing.
Okay, my question is that, let's say I pick a trade and then I've made a 50% margin call drop. Okay, I've made 50% allocation for my margin calls. I realized that let's say the coin is at $1, and my understanding is that when I make that arrangement, it means that when the coin drops to maybe $0.5, let's say half of it, which is the 50% drop, the robot should still be relevant in the market, should be able to buy and sell per that percentage drop. But sometimes the drop doesn't reach half of the value of that particular coin in the market. And so I don't know whether I don't understand the percentage call drop well. And so if you can throw more light on the percentage call drop for me, I'll be glad.
I still don't understand you. So you are treating crypto as if you are measuring a kilogram of sugar. That's what I'm trying to get in your question. That you entered this coin when it is at $1. When it gets at 0.5 cents, it means the coin has dropped 50%. Is it what you mean? Is it what you mean? I'm not getting your question. You are measuring crypto as if you are measuring a kilogram of sugar, that a quarter, half. I don't know if I'm trying to get the question. I'm just trying to understand, because his question is very confusing. I don't know if I'm trying, you can help me in the chat if I'm trying to understand his question. You entered a coin when it is, so for example, Bitcoin was at 100,000. So when it reached 50,000, you mean it has dropped 50%? Is it what you are trying to come up with?
My leader, I don't seem to understand the margin call percentage. So that's what I'm trying to ask. So if you can explain that for me, I'll be glad how it really works. The drop percentage, how it really works.
No, I'm confused. You know, sometimes someone can ask me a question and I get confused. I fail to understand. Unless there's someone who understands his question. But me, I'm totally confused. And when I'm confused, it's hard for me to provide the right answer. But generally, when you come up with a margin call drop of 50%, it means from your entry. From your entry, when this coin will drop 50% from your entry price, that is when the robot will stop buying. That is basically what it means. Okay? That's when the robot will stop buying. But remember, when you come up with a margin call drop and say call number one, margin call number one, when the coin drops 1%, remember the robot doesn't buy when your coin will drop 1%. It goes back to what we call the buy-in callback. If your buy-in callback is 0.1, when the coin drops 1%, the robot will wait for this coin to rise 0.1. That's when it will buy your first call. So it doesn't just keep buying. So it looks back to your buying callback. If your buying callback is 0.5, when the coin drops 1%, the robot will wait for the coin to rise 0.5. That's when it will buy that margin call. I think I have tried to explain, but I don't know if he has understood. But that's what I understand from his question.
Okay, thank you.
Is it clear now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
But his question was, he's trying to ask about those percentages of floating. Becca, what do you mean? No, for example, let me try, but I've totally failed to understand his question. But for example, this coin is down 14% from my entry price. It is down 14% from my entry price. But this doesn't mean, let me come back here and I look for H bar on the general chart. But look here. But in the 24-hour volume, this coin is just down by negative 4.76%. I don't know if that's where the confusion is. The other percentage is from my entry price, but this percentage is from the last price in 24 hours. Those two things are different. Even if someone is complaining, maybe this coin on top, these coins are going to be delisted. These coins are going to be delisted. Usually, it is very important for you to note that this is going to be delisted. This is going to be delisted. This is going to be delisted. How do you know this? even if royal queue delays to follow in your exchange. This is how the bull run is going to be. Imagine in 1, 2, 3, in 4 hours, this coin has moved from $1.5 to $3. So announcement, I think there's something happening with the Solana. I believe Solana will rise a little bit because there is increased activity. You come here on announcement, new listing, latest delisting. Delisting messages are here. These coins will be delisted. So you read before you get excited. What are they delisting? Are they delisting spot? So basically, first they will give reasons why they delist, and they say based on our recent reviews, we have decided to delist and cease trading on all spot pairs. Spot. So they will delist this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. That's why in our new trading approach, we have come up, when you are picking up coins to trade, you need to be very keen so that you do not fall culprit of these coins. There could be so many reasons Binance could give why they are removing these coins. But I think in one of my videos, I showed you how to use CoinMarketCap and prevent yourself being a culprit. And I also made a video on our YouTube channel on how to handle such challenges. But I hope I've tried to answer your question. I don't know if I have. He's also not understanding the percentage drop. That's why he's not able to explain his question. So he needs an explanation on how the percentage works. Okay. For example, I want to trade a coin. So I come here, I create my strategy. So I create my strategy, and in my approach, maybe like his approach, I want to create a 50% drop, meaning I'm going to create margin calls that are worth 50%. So they could be more in number or they could be less, but on the margin configuration. So let me use a conservative strategy, which is already 63%. So this total drop here is 63%, this one. What does it mean? It means that for the robot to buy the first call from my recent buy, if the coin drops 4%, so if the robot puts in $15 and it buys 1%, when this coin drops 4%, a drop in 4% is not minus the current price. Does that make sense? For example, if Bitcoin is 84,000, a drop in 4% may not be that the price has reduced by 4%. I don't know if what I'm trying to explain, I don't know if it is understandable. When we say Bitcoin has dropped 50%, it may not necessarily mean that from $84,000, Bitcoin is now 44,000. Does that make sense? Let me know. Because yeah, I see it looks like it is the confusion. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that Bitcoin has dropped from 84 to 44% in the price. A drop in the market looks at basically how buyers and sellers are behaving. It's just a behavior pattern. For example, you see, they are trying to say that this coin is up by 7%. But the question of 7% is from where? Let me pick up a price range. Maybe from here, let me see. You see, only here it is 4%. but the generalized is 7%. It may not mean that the price of farm has increased by 7%. For example, when you go to a calculator, the price is 30. If you subtract 4%, it takes you back to 28.8. But when we move from the price was 29. So don't get confused. It is how buyers and sellers are behaving in the market. So when you come up with your setting, you are not controlling the market. You are just saying that from my recent purchase, when this coin drops 4%, and rises by the buying callback, which is 0.5, so it goes down by 4% and rises by 0.5, that's when your robot will buy. I think I have tried to explain. Back to you. Next question.
Next question is from Kwashi. Kwashi says, Coach, what do you do if you happen to stay in floating loss for a month or two? What do you do if you're in a floating loss for a month or two?
Floating loss is not the problem. The problem is how you manage your capital. How many of you understand that analogy? Floating loss is not the problem. The problem is how you manage your capital. Many people have issues with floating loss, but it is not floating loss with the problem. Why do I say floating loss is not the problem? When you enter coin, do you have power whether this coin will go down or go up? Give me some answers in the chat. When you enter coin, do you have power whether this coin will go up or go down? No, you don't have a choice. You don't control the market. Okay? You don't control the market. So since you don't control the market, your focus should be on creating a strategy. Your focus should be on creating a strategy that helps you to keep trading that particular coin. So if you have floating loss, the most important thing is to add capital. When you add capital, either wait for that coin to rise or open more margin calls or trade another coin. I think I have answered.
Okay. Henry, you can unmute and ask your question. Henry, are you there?
I'm here. So, Coach, I would like to raise my question in my local, which is Uganda. Is it okay?
But now this is an international zone.
It's an international. Okay, my question is.
International zone. Zoom.
Okay, my question is, if my first buying amount is, let me say 20, and I enter a certain coin, then it drops at a certain percentage. If I double up my floating loss, if it's 20 and I add maybe 40 40 USDT, and my floating loss goes to, it brings my average price close. If it starts to raise, do I expect that first buying amount profits, or I only wait for these profits of that new average price?
You started with $20.
Yes.
But now you have $40, which means your total is now 60.
After pressing my $20, it drops to a certain, maybe 4%. And I add more, I double up my first buy-in amount, and I bring close the average price.
Are you trading manually? You are using the robot?
I'm using the robot.
So the robot puts in another $40, which means you now have $60.
I have $60. If it starts to go up, do I expect
it will give you profit of $60, not of 20?
It will give me profit of $60. Okay, that was my question.
Leader, can we go to the next question?
Sure.
Okay, Joseph says, Coach Julius, you told us on Wednesday that this robot cannot buy more than 4 margin calls. The robot cannot buy more than 4 margin calls when it is using steady default mode due to the bigger drops. So do we have to just sell manually for the rest of the margin calls, or they sell out with time?
I did not say that the robot doesn't buy. I told you it's not easy because of the big drop provided. Now, why do you become a robot yet you bought a robot? I believe that why do you want to sell manually? What happens with Royal Q? When it buys the 4 margin calls, it will sell them at once. Once it buys more than 4, it has power to sell the remaining ones one by one if your strategy mode is sub-bin mode, real-time settlement. I don't know if I've tried to answer, but some questions sometimes a little bit confusing. Back to you, Coach Jeremy.
Our next question is about Binance. Kindly let us know about the P2P Binance that is about to be removed as our local exchange buying and selling of dollars.
There is nothing Binance is removing. P2P is still as usual. When some of you have not been around for years, Binance had a future of cash direct transactions that could happen between traders. So it's what they are removing. They're not removing P2P. Hope I've answered.
Semaganda says, Coach, my money doesn't show when I touch strategy. I can't trade. I'm using HTX.
I think that's not the problem. As long as your money is in a spot wallet, the ability for your money not to be seen on your Royal Q could be a network issue. But as long as your money is in your spot wallet, then you must be able to trade. So don't focus on the money being seen or not being seen. I don't know if that makes sense. As long as your money is there, set a trade. The trade will work.
Okay. Tina is asking about, is there any way with Royal Q where one can recover all capital from a running trade before it's delisted to avoid any loss caused by a coin that is going to be delisted. Is there any way in Royal Q where one can be able to recover all their capital from a running trade before it is delisted to avoid any losses?
Crypto is a high volatile market. And for example, let me just use logic to explain. If this coin is going to be delisted, if it's going to be delisted, this money is not in Royal Q. So there is no way, because what is here is as follows. The current price and my entry price difference is this floating loss. So if this coin is going to be delisted, if I decide to sell this coin, this loss will be real. Royal Q does not control coins. Coins are in exchanges. If I want to transfer this coin to another exchange, let me tell you guys, this is my formula. And I did the same with CVC. I just write down how much I'm losing. It's $35. I can maybe wait. And for this coin, because usually when coins are going to be delisted, they usually pump. But in few cases, do they go back to their original prices? They pump and they may not return. So I can take this loss of 35. Me, when I'm trading, I have my trading journal. So I write down my losses and I'll make my losses on another trade. I cannot be seated here crying about the coin. Because things to do with the listing are not in your control. So like I did that video on how to handle coins that are going to be delisted. Number one, you can transfer the coin to another exchange. Number two, you can sell, write partial loss, and trade another coin and make your profit elsewhere in other coins. But I have no control on how I can prevent this negative 35 if I decide to sell the coin. Okay? Unless I transfer the coin to another exchange and keep it there. So I'll just drop that video because it was also something long that I may not be able to handle step by step here online. So let me send you that video because I made it on how to deal with coins that are going to be delisted, so that if you have the challenge, you look through the possibilities. I just give you possibilities, but I cannot give you guarantee on anything. Converting to another coin remains the same thing. The loss is real. Even if you convert, you are losing USDT. The amount of USDT loss remains the same. So there is no benefit. It is the same. If it is $35, you have lost them because the value, if the value of that coin is less than $30, that $30 is real. So even if you convert, you are only converting the remaining value. Does that make sense? Drop me one in the chat. I've seen people teach it, convert to another coin. There is no difference. You are just rotating in one place. The person is just playing with your mindset. The person is just playing with your mindset to give you a mindset of thinking that you are not losing. But you are losing because the value that has remained, if the value remained is $100, it is $100. It can't be 130. So you are converting that value to another coin. So it is the same thing like selling and trading another coin. Does that make sense? Yeah, I can sell, then write down my loss and trade other coins and make up my loss. For example, guys, I was here and I talked about what happened when I borrowed money and I lost. So what my focus was is to buy back my amount, not to, because when I made the loss, I wouldn't focus on the loss. I just wrote it down here in my journal. And when this particular asset started going down, I am now buying back. I don't know if someone makes sense, because if I focus on the loss, I have nothing I can do about it. So I focus on the solution to buy back the loss. So the same thing happens there. I now change my focus on trading better. I think I did a video with you and I showed you some solid projects. Okay, because the ability to apprehend loss also comes with how long you have been in the crypto market space. If you are new, you would put your focus on solid projects to avoid such issues. Some people may say that we talk about coins that are going to be monitored. But ladies and gentlemen, the coins that were delisted today, some of them have not been even on the monitoring list. Does that make sense? I don't know. For example, let me pick any. I know they are here. When you come here, they're on losers. Let me pick Bulg. This coin will be delisted on the 28th. When you tap on monitoring, let me give you reasons why Binance monitors coins. And I just want you to understand me. I'm not. There are coins that have been on monitoring here for a very long time, and Binance is not delisting them. One of them is Troy. How many of you have realized that? So a coin being here, yes, that's why I say trade coins with solid projects, because I may not be sure whether Binance will delist these coins tomorrow or the next day. So number one, you can avoid them. But if you're a person who likes trading them, then it's still up to you. But you may find that some of these coins have not been on this list before. They have just been added after being put on a list to be delisted. I don't know if that makes sense. So Binance has a choice. It has its own reasons why it decides to delist a coin. I don't know if that makes sense. So either decide to trade coins with solid projects like I did in that video. If you did not watch that video, I still recommend you to our YouTube channel, The Crypto Ambassadors. I may not have the time now to take you through all that steps, but I did a video when I talked about the super MACD indicator here. In this video, I explained how to find coins to trade. I even taught you how to pick them. So watch it and get informed. Back to you, Coach Jerry.
Searching coins on my phone. Biarhanga John says, searching coins on my phone on Royal Q doesn't bring the coin even when I see it. Kindly help.
Question again. Does what?
That she
What's the name of the coin?
John, maybe if you can let us know the name of the coin. It doesn't mention it here. Maybe he has not updated his coin list. I don't know.
No, but let me share possibilities to that I answer the question. Number one, if you're not seeing a coin, then it means check above here. Some of you forget. You are trading in Binance, but now up here it is HTX. You will not see that coin. So make sure you are moving parallel with where your coin is. Number two, write the name of the coin in the search button here. Maybe on the search button, you are typing on favorite. Type on all, then search the name of the coin. Back to you. That's where I think he's having issues.
Okay.
Oh, this one has issues when he receives the coins. It's just like I usually say, just come here. You are not adding new coins. Tap on the plus sign. When you reach here, tap on spot, not option. Tap on spot. Tick all here. Then you tap on add. So you tap on the plus, you tap on spot, tick all, tap add, all coins will appear. And check the exchange you are trading.
Another question from Percy. Percy says, is it possible to migrate or transfer a coin? Is it possible to migrate or transfer a coin from one Binance with Royal Q account to another Binance with Royal Q account?
I don't believe so. What you can do, you can migrate a coin from Binance to HTX. Then remove the API binding of the first Binance. Then you do a new API binding for the new Binance. Then you migrate it again from HTX to the new Binance. But you can't do it Binance to Binance. It will not work. But you can transfer from one Binance to HTX or Mexi or any other exchange, then connect the new Binance, then migrate again back to Binance. I hope I've answered.
Yes, Percy has a second question. He says, if I have been in a coin for so long, invested about $123, floating loss for up to 99%, and I manually go into the coin and buy $2,000 using the market price. Would I then get out with the lower floating loss?
Yes. Yes, you can get out with a lower floating loss. But at least be sure that the coin is going to rise. Because if you are not sure, immediately when you put in your 2,000 and it gives a wrong already back handle, you will forget the day you joined crypto. So just make sure the coin has a good support area. Just make sure the coin has a good support area, because if it is, for example, sorry guys, just for example, so that you understand. Hmm? What is she? Karen, your bad. Okay, for example, you need to look at this coin in a bigger time frame, either 1 day or 4 hours. And you must be at least having a percentage of understanding where this coin has a good support area. Because if not, you can enter your money and then it gives a good red candle to the downside. Okay? Okay, so like now here, it has a good support area. It has lower chances of this coin to continue dipping so much. I hope my point is clear. So make sure it has a good support area. But if it's not, then once it gives a good drop with your 2000, then another serious floating loss.
The next question is from Wilbur. Wilbur says, I have been trading AIXB, and right now it is at 76%, negative 76%. Coach, is there any way that this coin can go to zero? Like 100% floating loss?
Coins, you just need to understand the dynamics of when markets get sharp drops. When markets get sharp drops, coins with a very low coin market cap will dip deeper than Bitcoins. For example, if Bitcoin goes down by 10%, those other stupid small coins can dip 80%. But that doesn't mean that the coin will go back to zero. Doesn't mean the coin will go back to zero, no. It is just what is happening in the market. That markets, there is very low positive sentimental in markets. Okay, so I think you just need to remain more patient. XIBT is an AI agent. Like I said when I was talking about AI agents, I told you these AI agents, I don't think they will stay for a very long time. Okay, but doesn't mean that your money has gone back to zero. So I believe you can just remain patient. Things will get better.
What if I delay to activate my... Tumwebazi, the other question is from Tumwebazi. He says, what if I delay to reactivate my robot? Can't I lose my assets?
But your assets are not in Royal Queue. Your assets are not in Royal Queue.
Okay.
Your assets are in your exchange.
Baker again came up, I think, with this question was answered before, that can I connect two robots with one Binance? Is it possible to connect two robots with one Binance?
I think I said no.
And Mercy again says, please run through the meaning of delisting. Delisting.
It means the coin is going to be removed from that exchange. The coin is removed from that exchange. It doesn't mean that the coin is going to be removed in the whole world, but from that specific exchange. I have taken a video before and explained that. Let me share it again. How to deal with coins that are going to be delisted. I made a video. These things I usually take 10 to 15 minutes to explain. That's why I'm not going into back, because I've already created some information around them. I don't know if that makes sense. I know someone may want me to repeat, but something that takes close to 30 minutes. I believe if you go and watch, because I took off personal time, went into details about the problem, I believe it's not fair for me to take another 30 minutes to just explain one thing. I don't know if that makes sense. So please, I request you watch that video where I talked about how to deal with delisted coins. But delisting basically means the exchange is going to remove that coin from its platform. For example, ASR, it's going to be removed from Binance. So it means that that coin will no longer exist in that exchange. Back to you.
And it looks like the questions are getting done. Florence says, wood coin has been down for, okay. No question. We have Stephen here. Stephen, no, Mawamvo. Mawamvo says, no. Stephen, just to confirm, like a colleague asked earlier, I think we did this as well. It is repeated. Dennis says, same question on that again, leader. What will happen to a coin traded by a robot, then delayed to activate my robot after expired? Will my coin remain bought? Hey, this English, it's not Englishing.
No, when you don't renew a robot, the robot you will not be able to do anything in your robot, either to set up trades or do anything. Immediately it expires. But your robot will continue to monitor your trades for 30 days. If you don't renew in 30 days, it will stop monitoring, but your coins will remain in your exchange.
And Jack says, can we still use P2P for money withdraw and deposit?
What has stopped you? There's no problem with P2P. Just make sure those guys who are saying, send me the money, I initiate, make sure the person has a number. Make sure the person has a number. Their number.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. There is no problem with P2P. I repeat, there is no problem with P2P. There is no problem with P2P. Nothing is being removed from Binance.
Okay. Florence talks about WorldCoin. She says it has been down for a long time. Do you think it will be delisted?
I don't think so. What is happening generally? Markets are down. That's what I would say. But they're not back to where they were in 2022. So, just there should be some degree of patience. You find that the coins, World Coin is a solid project, not so much. It is an AI-based project. So I believe it still has some good time to stay, because it also has a community. Cryptocurrencies that have communities are never delisted. And it's not appearing even in coins that are being monitored. So it has higher chances of stability.
Coach, kindly repeat that statement. That was very powerful. You said cryptocurrencies that have what can never be delisted?
Cryptocurrencies that have solid communities can never be delisted. What they look at in cryptocurrencies, basically, they look at a viable community. Okay, for example, one of the reasons why Pi is a good cryptocurrency is because it has built a very solid community. You see, let me tell you, when people participate in certain cryptocurrencies, they love them so much. Like if someone has been mining Pi for the last 6 years, when they see you talking bad about Pi, they can even swallow you. I don't know if you get what I'm talking about. So cryptocurrencies focus so much on building communities. Like when you look at a WorldCoin, it built its community on the orbit where people are scanning their eyes, and they continue to mine that cryptocurrency on the ecosystem of the website of WorldCoin. So it has users. Just generally, markets are generally just down. So because of that solid community, my friend, no exchange wants to lose communities. These cryptocurrencies, you see, they are delisting. They don't have solid communities. That's why you see BNX was not delisted. The name was delisted, but the coin was not delisted because the coin was swapping, was renaming itself to form. But the coin itself remained on the exchange. Exchanges don't want to lose customers, especially with cryptocurrencies that have solid communities. But cryptocurrencies with no solid communities, my friend, it's hard for them to survive. Like you go on monitoring coins. I've showed you how you find coins that are going to be monitored. Those that are being monitored, you'll find few of them have solid communities. Okay, because creating a cryptocurrency is very easy, but maintaining a cryptocurrency is not a joke. I don't know if that makes sense. That's why you never hear me promote any crypto, because creating a cryptocurrency is very easy, but maintaining a cryptocurrency is not a joke. It's not for weak-hearted ones. It has a lot of things to do, marketing, a lot of things to do, guys. Awareness, la la la. But these small boys that create cryptocurrencies and think things are going to move their way just like that, my friend, it's not a joke. Okay? It's not a joke. Back to you.
Timothy is asking, how does Royal Q calculate unrealized floating loss?
Question is not clear. Just look at the difference between your current price and your average price in percentage is your floating loss. I think I've answered.
Bekalaze, what if I withdraw all my capital from my exchanger and my robot takes long without trading? How long can my Royal Q remain and I can use it again?
Until your expiry date. Check your expiry date. Every robot has an expiry date. But me, I can never allow my robot to expire even a single second. But for you, it's okay. Me, I can't allow my robot even to expire a single second. I even know when it will expire. That day I don't sleep until it is renewed. So when you check my robot here, it will expire in June on 14th. So me, when my robot is 10 days to expire, I deposit 120 and I don't touch it. 10 days, it's my rule. 10 days to expiry, I deposit 120. So you expire, it will expire. The expiry date is there. Back to you.
Safi say, your question looks a bit incomplete. You said, Coach, I switched strategy mode from warehouse to sub-in mode after the robot buying the 5th call. Then what? It looks like incomplete. I don't know if you understand it, Coach. It looks incomplete.
Go to next.
Next is
Go
better
to next.
solid. I'm worried I could be delisted. Is better solid. I'm worried I could be delisted. This is Oskins.
Better. I don't know, but it's on the monitoring tab. So be just conscious.
Okay, there is Samuel here. Samuel says, I'm on floating loss now. So if I want to open a new coin, how can I set it?
I don't know. It is the normal setup.
Percy says, please clarify, if I add money in my floating coin, is it that 36% that becomes my loss? And he has shared a screenshot here. Percy has shared a screenshot and asking,
When
is
he
the
does
30
what?
if he adds money in the floating coin, is it that 36 will become his loss? And he has shared a screenshot in the chat showing the estimated holding profit and loss as negative 36.
But that doesn't make his question clear. When he adds money, how does the 36 become his loss? I don't know
I
if
see
you're trying to understand what I'm saying.
he has added $2,000.
I explained that when you are adding money to a coin, be sure that it's going to rise. If you are not sure, you can put in the money and the coin continues going down. So you better open margin calls if you don't know how to check that.
Ferry says, is it possible to renew the robot in advance? Is it possible to renew the robot in advance?
You just put the money, the 120, and tap on renew. The robot will automatically renew itself.
Okay, Semuju Semugabi Robert says, my question is that, does the 1 day time frame candle bearish or bullish determine the overall movement of the other smaller time frames in 24 hours?
I don't know. Just do your analysis very well. Because if the market is on an uptrend in 1 day, then it has more chances of other time frames to be on an uptrend. If the market is on a downtrend in 1 day, then there are higher chances that coins in a lower time frame will be on a downward movement. So basically, me, I believe you just need to do your analysis because I have times explained what time frame is. A smaller time frame is a small picture, and a bigger time frame is a big picture of a smaller picture in a smaller time frame. So as long as that analogy is clear, you can be able to do your analysis accordingly.
Okay. Coach, I think we have all the questions have been answered. There is no hand. I don't see any hand here. Unless there is any other question. All the questions have been answered. Thank you so much for your time. Unless you have anything else to communicate to us, Leader Julius.
I have nothing to say.
Dr. Prince here says, is there a time in a day that coins can rise in prices? Is there times in a day that coins can rise in prices?
Yes. Yes. Especially when the day of a candle is closing. Most especially, for example, the candle of 1 day, the day of a candle ends at 3 a.m. East Africa Standard Time. The time zone could be different. So from 2:30 p.m., there are higher chances when the market is about to close the day and when the day is starting. Okay? When the day is about to end and when the day is about to start. coins rise because of that analogy.
Mm.
So crypto market coins work so much at night. Work so much. I don't want to go to trading time zones, but crypto markets overperform so much at night than during the day. Then from 7 a.m. to midday, also most times the market also performs very well from 7 a.m. during day to midday. During those first hours of the day, markets like from morning to now, markets usually perform well because usually in these times many people are awake and they want to trade.
Mm.
Mhm. And also the reason why the markets work so well in the evening hours is because after half of the day, for the first few hours, the markets are usually good.
Mm.
I hope I'll try it.
You've done that. And Sarah, the screenshot guy has been answered. He shared a screenshot which had a floating loss of 97%. And then upon adding $2,000, the floating loss moved to negative 36. I think this question was answered that if yes, that is the floating loss, you're not sure if this coin would be, if the price will go up. You have to be sure that the price is going to rise for you to do that. So thank you, Leader Julius, for your time and energy and knowledge that you are sharing here. We are grateful. I think we can call it a day.
Oracle is at $4.5. Are you sure, my brother? What's up? The coin has moved from $1. I don't know what's happening with this. Is a decentralized exchange on Solana chain. I'm just aware about that. I don't know why the coin is rising, guys, but that is crazy. I cannot back it up with a reason, but that is confidence that Solana will do well in the coming few hours. Yeah, because if its ecosystem is doing well, let me check. Let me cross check Oracle again. Hey guys, this is stupid. 4.9. It's going to $5.
Wow.
No, I'm not confident about this, guys. I cannot tell you anything because its highest price was $12 on its launching time. I cannot give any analysis about this. I'm not sure what will happen, but it's going to $5. That's what I would say. It will hit $5. Those with solid decisions, please. I may not give any solid decision now because it needs some good TA, but I think I gave a 5%. At least I gave you guys a 5%. So, sometimes over trading is not easy. But let me try to see. But this is a crazy decision. But since it has broken, it's not easy, guys. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, this could be my last take profit, but it's a hard decision, guys. Okay. 10%, 10-15% take profit, but the risk is very high. But that's what you could take. The risk is a little bit very high, but let's see. You can risk what you can afford to lose. Yeah, 15 to 10%. Those with the solid decisions. Yeah, it could do that. but the risk is crazy high. But a 15 to 10%. It's not a financial advice, guys. Don't do it and then look for me. But let me reduce it a little bit with some areas of support and resistance here. Okay, we could take up to here, by the way. Yeah, that is very far. We may not hit it. That is very far, but let's take this. This is possible. What I'm giving now is possible. Yeah, this is now what I'm sharing now is gonna be possible. Current price. A 7% is possible. 7%. But the risk is high. So I'll add that on the signal. The risk is high, but 7% is possible. But the risk is high. The risk is high. So I'll start with high risk so that when someone floats, they don't look for me. I've shared on the Telegram group, but the risk is high, but it's possible. 5%, but the risk is high. I won't lie to you guys. It's very high. But it is possible, but the risk is high. And back to you, Coach Jerino. Unless you say we are done.
We are done, except, okay. Mawambu says he's still new in and attending classes, but he would like to know of coins that he can be able to use to set a strategy and earn every day automatically as he learns to identify and trade by himself with a capital of $300.
But I did a video about that. I think I did a video about that. So the video is here in the chat. Yeah, I have given them 5%. But I said it's high risk, but it's possible.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone on the call. Please, let's appreciate our leader. Let's appreciate our leader in the chat. Let's show
Wow,
some.
guys, 7% has delivered.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, 7% has delivered, guys. Let's go again. We are now going to take another second profit. The other one has sold. 7% is out, so let's take next profit. The other one is done, guys. Let me do another analysis here. Okay. 7% is out, so we are gonna take our next profit. Just a minute before we close. 7%, so we are gonna take up to here now. Let me see how much is this. Okay. Someone is saying better go for farming. Yeah, same coin. This will be 3%. Okay. So let's go another 3%, and that will be the last one. So this will be the last move. 3% is the last, then I see that is possible. All right, if it gets you there. Yeah. I don't know, but there must be reasons why the coin is pumping. I think I will share in the next few hours. I'll find out in 10 minutes. I'll be knowing why the coin is pumping. There must have been happening a huge transaction. But the coin is up by 200%. Someone has made $585 from that coin. Guys, the guy is very happy here in my chat. Hey! The coin is called Orac. Orac. It's a decentralized exchange on the Solana. The video is here. Let me cross again. I've shared it several times. When I'm trading now, you are looking at RSI in which time frame? 3% is not yet out, but it's highly risky. You are looking at 1 hour, but when you look at it in 15 minutes, but I believe according to my analysis here, yeah, it's another 200, but it has more possibilities of rising and delivering, but very risky, like the word says. But if you are using DAO wrap, you'll get out. If you are just trading 1-1, you will suffocate. If you're using a DAO wrap strategy, you will move out with your last 3%. All right, let's close, Coach Jerina. I think that's enough. Thank you so much, Coach Jerina. Could we drop some love hearts for Coach Jerina for work well done, ladies and gentlemen? Very productive today. She was able to go through your questions and be able to share with us. And that's all for today. See you tomorrow. See you on Sunday. Thank you, everybody.